Coach Kinchin did a live feed today. He was talking about the Toeprp passing system, and some questions were raised up of how competitive you can be passing the ball in Toeprp if the offense gets the last move. They were saying basically if you can't react to an offensive pivot, which means the receiver saying I want to go here, a back saying I want to go here, or a receiver saying I want to go here, how can you be competitive? Well, if you align your guys right, you can be in good position to defend that. And then even in some cases, you can dictate what the defense or what the offense needs to try to do. As you can see from here, I have my corners shaded to the outside. I like my corners to come off free. Okay, I want him to the outside. Number one, if he makes that pivot, he's in position. Okay. Now, with that being said, in order for me to have him that far off and have him to the outside, I need some underneath help. That's where my wide defensive end looper comes in. If he's out wide, if I turn this board on quick, if he says, hey, I see that, I want to do a quick pass, he's going to be right behind him when the board stops. If he gets a little further down, he's right next to him. Okay? So that's why you have to have underneath coverage if you're going to play off. You may not have a fast enough corner to where 17 yards off, he'll come up. These guys are pretty fast, so depending on how fast your corners are is how far you put them back. Same thing over here. Now, with me having a slot receiver and a strong safety, I can even back him up even more because both of these act as underneath coverage opposed to just the end. Meanwhile, your linebackers, your three linebackers are in perfect position filling their gaps to take care of a run or to pick up these running backs. And that's without any pivots. I'm able to take care of him if he goes that, him if he goes that, him if he does this. He's got him coming up, him coming up. Okay, so I got all bases covered. The other thing you can do is bring your linebackers out wide. Okay, my linebackers are out wide now. Now they're acting as how the ends acted. They're going to take away a quick slant on their way to the running backs. Okay, a quick slant on their way to the running back. You still have the strong safety here. He's to the outside. So if he slants in, he's going to run into him. If he comes out, he's going to run into the guy that's covering him. Now he's still to the outside, so he's still covering that post corner. If he runs around both of these and run that post, then he's going to run into that free safety. So now you're using the outside linebackers to be your underneath coverage. You see it again from right here. If he runs a quick slant, if he pivots him in here, he's running right into there, right? If he goes out here, he's running to where the coverage is supposed to be initially set up. Same thing here. If you got a swing out here, you got two guys coming in here. I'm not even worried about lining them up with them. I line them up on the numbers. They're on the numbers. They come in for the running backs. Middle linebackers here. Now you can see my ends are in tight now because I don't need the outside linebacker help. If I put them ends out wide and the linebackers are out wide like this, I've got some alleys here to run in. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you have the ends in tight if you're going to do it like that. Then you have the option of running a cover two, which can be done in one or two ways. I do it multiple ways, but lately I've been doing it this way, where I have the corner about 10 yards off, shading to the outside. He's shaded to the outside so he can take away a quick out. For running back to come out to the flat, he can take that away. The linebacker's in here, so if he wants to run a quick in, he's there. And you got your two safeties turning in circles, taking away each half of the field. Now, you can also pull them up and put them on TTC bases, have them turning in circles that way also. But I like to have them come up. And sometimes you have to put them back a little deeper if they're really fast. So those are a few ways you can defend the pass in Toeprp football without feeling like you're at the mercy of the offense. Now I'm going to go back to that initial setup that I had where we had the corners off about 17 yards, the ends wide, the linebackers filling the holes. And I'm going to turn on for as quick as possible. And I'm going to show you how these ends work for your underneath coverage, allowing you to play a little soft on the outside, which is what you want to do so you don't have to worry about if a pivot disrupts your coverage or whatever you're trying to do because you're so far off, he can react. Okay, so that quick stoppage, you can see there that end is right underneath that quick route. The corner is outside. Same thing over here. You got the strong safety coming up here, but he's also taking away that. The corner's there. And then look at the linebackers. They're coming right down the holes. So if I was to pivot him to slant in, he would have slanted in right to here. Only place he had to go was there, and that's where he's going. Same thing here. He only has to go there, or he can run a deep route in here, and you're hoping that your rush should get there before that. Okay? So that's just an example that I think works in this kind of scheme. This is kind of how I played anyway. I always played to defend the pass first and adjust to the run. I think the pass is what people fear the most in electric football. Big runs happen, but big passes tend to happen a little more. So if you play a little softer on the outsides, you won't be suspect to such big plays. At the same time, you're still able to be effective against the run.